Good morning. Another beautiful day in the Med here. If all goes well, this will be our last day in Spain, but I have some work to do. Yes, as much as I've been putting it off, I've got to start dealing with that darn windlass. And hopefully I have everything I need to do so. But anyone that's ever had a boat or worked on a boat knows that a 5-minute project, I think Ian's been one of our first patrons. Ian wrote in a comment the other day that a 5-minute job turns into a 5-day job or something like that. I'm always misquote him, but anyway, we will see how it goes. Everything's more difficult, but I wanted to kind of, I told you about this place. Oh, and by the way, yesterday, I told you the music was starting. They must have been doing a sound check, because right after I shut the video off, the music went away. We went out and had the most fabulous dinner. It was wonderful. And the people here, I got to tell you, I've been to Spain many more than 20 times, but I know very little about Catalonia, the northern part of Spain, almost the Basque region up here. I know very little about this. I've been to Bilbao, but I mean, I don't know much about this. Or when I say I don't know about it, I'm saying I don't know the people like I do, like in Madrid and in Andalusia, where my grandmother used to live. So anyway, you always hear, even in the States, the people in the South say, "Oh, watch those Northerners," and the people in the South and the North say, "Oh, those Southerners," Well, anyway, I haven't really heard great things. Like people said, "Oh, watch out for your dinghy when you go up there. There's a lot of crime, all this sort of stuff." The people here have been phenomenal. Maybe they've ripped me off, but I haven't noticed because they've been so nice. But anyway, enough of that. Let me get to. Once again, I am not, I don't know if I think it's Mads. I'm not, I think he's, is he Danish? Anyway, Sail Life. If you like DIY videos, this is probably not going to be the one for you, because although I'm attempting to show you what I'm doing, I am not the guy. The guy for the best DIY videos, maritime related, or at least sailboat related, is Sail Life, and he's phenomenal. He just does a really, really good job. He's a professional YouTuber. Remember, I'm a retired tugboat captain who throws a camera around to stay in touch with you people. That's all I am. I'm not a YouTuber. Anyway, that will not keep me from trying to explain what I'm doing. So I think the first thing I should do is say that at IMTRA in New Bedford, Massachusetts. If I get this flatter, you might be able to see it better. How about that? All right, so this is, when I was there, not only did they give me the parts I needed and were so helpful and awesome, but they also printed this out for me, which I couldn't find anywhere online. But this is a schematic of the Storm 1250 Muir windlass that I have, and everything that you've probably been used to seeing is from here up. This would be the deck here, and then there's this whole assembly and the shaft and all that sort of stuff. Now, what I believe happened, now when you look down here, this is underneath. This is inside the chain locker, which I'm probably not going to show you because, I mean, I have all I can do to lay in there, and it's really claustrophobic, and it's about 1,000,000 degrees, and it really sucks. And there's 1,000,000 little screws and bolts I have to do. But anyway, this is what I'd call the right angle or worm gear, but Muir calls it the gearbox. And this is the 12-volt motor here that attaches to it. I've replaced this once before, and I thought it was like 1.5 years ago, but IMTRA said that I bought it in, I think they said December of 24. I think that's what they said. So damn it, it's not even 1 year old, and that went bad. But I don't think it went. And remember, it was dry, and they told me no, it's supposed to be dry. As long as water doesn't get into it, you're all good. You say, well, how are things on a boat, especially dealing with the anchor, supposed to not get water into it? Well, this right here, remember, this is the deck right here, and then they've got this column here, and this whole bolting assembly that bolts to it. Inside that is this shaft with a keyway, and then on top, and it looks like there's a locking ring. That's probably going to be an issue, that because I'm wondering how I'm going to pull all this out. That looks like maybe that's a locking ring, top of the shaft, not sure. But anyway, they do show down here a seal and an O-ring. And when I bought this, I tried to buy a repair kit for it, and there was no such thing. But they did say that there was 2 seals that people usually buy. And so I bought those. I had them in my hand, but I was thinking that they went in here, and I couldn't figure it out. And I just put this on, not knowing. And remember, listen, I need to stop and back. Oops, sorry about that. Put the hand over the... I'm so bad at this. Anyway, I've got to appease all the trolls and the haters out there and get this out of the way. I am not, never have pretended to be an engineer, a technician, a mechanic, anything like that. I did have a life at sea, but it was in the wheelhouse. And any of you guys that came over from my Tim B at Sea channel, I got to tell you that it shouldn't be a surprise to you, but most of my engineers and I have always got along great. The contract I have with my engineers is I'll stay out of your engine room, you stay out of my wheelhouse. And I don't mean that they can't come up or I can't go down there. I don't tell him how to run his engine room. He doesn't tell me how to run the boat. And anyway, it's so nice. It sounds so silly. If you would have told me this 30 years ago, I would have said, oh, that's ridiculous. But you know what? When a little running light goes out, you just ring up the chief. Hey, chief, the running light's out. It's his problem. You know what? A little piece of trim comes off. Hey, chief, come up here with a Phillips head screwdriver. He screws that thing back in. It's so nice having an engineer that just takes care of everything. The bad part of that is that I'm damn near 60 years old. I have like no skills when it comes to this stuff. I shouldn't say no skills, but I mean, I was able to get this stuff off. But it's a process, and being on a boat, it's very difficult. So what I need to do is I have this and this are off. I've got a new one of these and a new one of these, although the people at Mirror say, and I know for a fact that my motor is still good. They said, put the new gearbox onto the old motor and run it till it dies, and even though it looks rusty and bad, it'll probably last a long, long time, they said, and I'll always have a new one, so if I get to Tonga and dies, I have one ready to go. But this is definitely going to go bad, and everything else is, if water keeps getting, we get water intrusion by... This is what they call the Wildcat, and some people call it a gypsy, but actually this is called a gypsy. We used our archaic maritime culture used to have a politically incorrect and unsensitive name for it, so we changed it to gypsy. And I said, well, what about the gypsies out there? Don't they feel bad about that now? But anyway, this is a gypsy, so this is what you'd wrap your line around, because we have like 200 feet of chain and another 200 feet of, or 300 feet of great big, I think it's inch or 3/4 inch nylon. Nylon, so it stretches. And so you'd wrap that around there, warp it in, and then once it came, you put the chain into the Wildcat. The Wildcat has the teeth that grab the chain and it pulls it down. When that comes up, there's this right here has a little basin, and it fills up with water, and there is a drain, but it's on the side. See that right there? See that drain right there? That's on the side, and the water seems to go here and pools up there. I've never seen it pool up, but I just see the dried remains of everything else there. So I believe the water's pooling up there. I believe it's going down the shaft here, going down, and as this thing turns, even though this has a seal in it, over time, the seal, integrity of the seal breaks down. So we've got this off. We need to separate this from the old one, put the new one on the old motor, somehow get in there and get all this out and get this out, bring all this out, and then separate all this. And that might be a really tall order. Like I say, if you've ever worked on a boat, everything takes forever and everything's corroded and dissimilar metals, and it's going to be awful. Anyway, that's got to come out because it doesn't make sense. This is about $1,000 and this is about $1,000. It would suck if I just throw every 6 months, throw $1,000 gearbox at this thing. So I need to fix the problem. You know, it's like the neighbor's kid breaks your window and you replace the window. Well, maybe you ought to replace the neighbor's kid, or at least talk to him about it so that he doesn't do it every time. In this case, the neighbor's kid for me, I hope and believe that it's this seal and this O-ring. So let's go over and look at the parties here. This is the old motor, and like I say, it seems to have plenty of power and it does great, but this thing is all messed up, and you can see we've taken it apart. We put it back together again just to hold it, but everything's all dry and rusted in there, and there's nothing. You would think, I don't understand this. I'm sure you guys in the comments will say, will probably agree with me, but how this is not filled with oil or grease amazes me. But maybe it's because if it does fail, they don't want the chain locker and thus your bilge be filled with oil or grease. I don't know. It just seems odd to me. Anyway, this is this, right? So here is the new right angle drive, or what they call the gearbox. And then here's a whole new motor and a new O-ring and a new lip seal. So this lip seal should go there, the O-ring should go on top of the shaft, and we should put everything in. But we'll see how all of that goes. Of course, in the meantime, you guys are going to have to hopefully pray for me. Send me good juju. I need to get this done. I've been anchoring by hand is not the end of the world, because I still have the system there. You know, I use the windlass without the motor to haul the chain, and with a winch handle, you know, like this. So you just kind of wind it in, and that works pretty well. And letting it go, it's not that heavy a chain, and it's all right. I don't usually anchor in more than about 25 feet, so it's, you know, the deeper it is, the more chain is vertical in the water column, meaning that it's going to weigh more. So as long as I don't do that, as long as I have the whole windlass housing on deck, I'm good. But I need to commit and get that thing off the housing, get the housing off the deck, so I can break in and replace those seals. And that could be a week or a month long process. Hopefully it's just a few hours. I got to be off this morning by around 11 or 12 today, and I still want to go to the Guardia Civil. We went to the Guardia Civil last night, and this cute little town has the police station, and we went right to it, right in the center of town, and it's closed. It doesn't open up until the next morning. Gotta love a little town that has a closed police station at night. Kind of gives you an idea how much crime there is out here. So obviously not something to worry about. Very cool. I thought that was great. Anyway, I want to go to the Guardia Civil, and it'll be interesting to know what your thoughts are on this. But everyone I talk to just leaves. Now, granted, the people I've talked to have been EU citizens. The Irish are not in the Schengen zone, but they're EU citizens. I'm neither in the Schengen zone or an EU citizen. Either is the boat. And so I think that before I leave Spain and before I enter France, somebody has to go and say somewhere that I'm checking out. Everyone says, just go. And you know what? I got a feeling that even if France is cool and they're like, yeah, no problem, welcome to the country, they could say, we can't let you in until you've checked out of the last place. So, I don't know. And you know, there are a lot of people that, I shouldn't say a lot of people, I've met people out here that are just kind of winging things. And I don't know, maybe it's my age, maybe it's my background of having to do everything by the letter of the law for hauling hazmat, or, you know, hauling oil for years as a tugboat captain. But I like to think it has most to do with the fact that I want to be respectful of the local cultures and customs of where I go. And on this one, I don't know the answer. So if I go to the Guardia Civil and say, hey, look, here are my passports. I don't know, do you want to check me out, or do I just go? Or if they say, yeah, just go, I'm fine with that. If I get to France and they say, why didn't you check out? So I went to the Guardia Civil, they told me to go. Maybe the Guardia Civil says, yeah, you have to do this checkout procedure, and that's totally fine too. I'm good with doing it. I want to do it right So that's it. But let me know what your thoughts are on that. Would you just wing it, or would you, is it better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission? I don't know. Anyway, that's it. Wish me luck. I can stall no longer. I need to start working on this horrible project. Wish me luck. Take care. Be safe. Oh, and thank you so much. One of you guys out there just bought us a round of drinks, and I really appreciate it. You can, if you want to buy a round for us, maybe a French round, hit that super thanks. But all you guys writing comments, it really helps the channel out. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really helps out a lot. And if you want to be a patron, I'll leave a link below. And you patrons keep the channel afloat. Take care, be safe, and as always, I'll see you on the one.